This week I'm sharing my goals for the year, some things to help me focus on improving my filmmaking as much as possible. Hello, my name is Cade and this is DSLRguide. Now, with it being the new year, I've come up with some goals which I think will help us to push ourselves as filmmakers, but also to stay on the right track. So the first one is the absolute most important thing that a filmmaker can do, and that is make films. Because I think there's nothing more valuable in terms of education than making a project and then being able to look back and see what you did well and what you'd improve for next time. So I think every filmmaker should pick an achievable number of films to make and then just start planning out what you want to do for each of those projects. Now, last year I spent a good amount of time learning specific skills. So I think I improved quite a lot in my audio, but then I also got some practice with graphic design. So there are so many different crafts within filmmaking, whether it's lighting, sound, or music, or any of the other ones. So I think it's really important that filmmakers choose a craft which they want to improve on that year, and then just, start watching some YouTube videos about it and start practicing. My one for this year is storytelling. I'd like to be a lot more confident in making things that are entertaining for people to watch, and I think that learning about storytelling, watching YouTube videos, reading books, and then just having it as the main focus on every film I make to make sure that it's really telling a story, I think that will be the most beneficial thing for my filmmaking. Another goal for the year is to take lots of photos. I've recently started an Instagram account and I found that it's really cool because I can go out for a run and then just find any nice compositions, nice lighting, and use it as a really continuous way to keep practicing finding visuals, finding depth, and just in an environment that you can't control, trying to find nice images. So I think that's a really good goal, is to maybe take a photo every day or something like that. For me, Instagram works out really well because it means that I can try and practice my visuals while also keeping you guys up to date with any projects that I'm working on. So the next one is that I'd like to make 10 new contacts this year, because contacts are arguably one of the most valuable parts of a filmmaking career. It's all about who you know and whether they can set you up with new jobs and new opportunities. So I'm going to be trying to meet new actors, trying to talk to some other filmmakers on social media, maybe going to some local production companies and see if I can talk to anyone there, or maybe even doing some volunteering on a film set. Now, I'd like to spend less time researching equipment this year. If you add up last year how much time I spent looking at camera reviews and reading articles, it probably add up to a pretty significant amount of time. And honestly, I think there are just a lot more valuable things that I could have been doing with my time. So for instance, this year I'd like to do more personal projects. Last year I did 3 of them, which can be found on my Cade Visuals channel: a scooter edit for my friend Matt, a mini documentary about running, and a music video. But I did at least 5 kind of boring business related videos just to earn money. Now obviously not many people can actually make money off doing personal projects alone, but I think they are extremely valuable in a different way to the ones that will earn you money. Now I think that I've learned a lot more from my personal projects than I did the business ones, and they're also just a really fun way to make films that are more interesting for a general audience, which is kind of the end goal of filmmaking in the end, is not to make business videos, but to make videos that people would want to watch. So it's really good practice, it's a really good experience, and it gives you stuff that looks really good on your website and on your demo reel. The other way I'd like to spend my time this year is watching more films. I definitely wouldn't call myself a film buff, but I do believe that watching films is another important way to learn the language of cinema. So a lot of people say make films that you would enjoy watching yourself. So I think watching lots of films and immersing yourself with movies that you enjoy is a really good way to see what works and what doesn't work, and to kind of take inspiration from lots and lots of different sources, because there really are some great films out there. Now I'd also like to watch a film without any sound. I'd like to completely mute it, and then that way you can really focus on the pacing of the edits, and you can look at the visuals without being distracted by the story, because the audio is usually the way that you get lost in and sucked into the story. Now obviously this is not something you do the first time you watch a film, but as a way to study the film, it's a really good way to do it without just ending up watching it and forgetting that you're supposed to be analysing it closely. And finally, I just wanted to say that with New Year's resolutions, the number of people who actually achieve them is pretty low. But I do think that there is a way to kind of give yourself the best chance of actually completing it. And let me use the example of running, which I can't remember where I heard it, but the idea is that if you want to start running the first thing you do is for at least a month, you go once a week and you just go out for a 20-minute walk. You don't do any running at all. You just get into the habit of leaving the house and going out and doing something at a specific time. And then you can really slowly swap one of the walks for a run. And before you know it, you'll be running once a month and then once a week. And you just really, really slowly ease yourself in rather than trying to attack it saying, I'm going to go every single day and then burning out and not managing to do it. So I think that's a general principle for any goals you have, whether it's making new clients or meeting new people, just to kind of really slowly ease yourself into it rather than making these really overambitious goals that over the course of the year you'll probably do less than if you'd kind of really slowly eased into it. So that's pretty much it. I would like to say that on the blog post I'll link to a video I made which is somewhat similar to this, with some challenges that you can do if you want to push yourself as a filmmaker. And the other thing is that I'm going to be doing a Q&A in a future video, so if you want to leave in the comments some questions for a Q&A video or mention me on Twitter at DSLRguidance, then feel free to send me any questions you have. But that's it for this week, and I'll see you next time.